There we go. We are live. We are live. Okay, y'all. Okay, so YouTube. I'm up on YouTube. Looks like the mic is on. Very good. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. Like I said, first of all, thank y'all so much for your patience. I went to Starbucks with the intent to do the morning show there, and it was loud. Obviously, it's in the cafe. And then went to the car because I was like, maybe I got to do the morning show in the car. It's completely fine. I got to the car, honey. The lightning was lightning and thundering, honey. And I was like, okay, so this is not going to work because it was high thunder activity. So came to the house because we're getting flooring installed, and so I wanted to make sure it was not going to be loud. But they're doing their thing. So if you hear any background noise, just know that that's what's going on. All right. So give me a some hearts. I changed the settings on Substack. Um, I changed the setting there. So if you are listening, if you can comment on Substack, let me know that you let me know that you can comment. Let me know if you can comment on Substack. All right, y'all. Very good. Very good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the first thing is first. Um, we are in, like I said, this is a post labor era. So I'm going to be flipping back and forth on a couple of screens just so I can provide some level of clarity of what is happening in the labor era. And then also too, you all are more than welcome to put in the comments, ask me questions about what is happening. And you're like, you know what, coach, what do you think about this? I am totally okay with that. I do have a hard stop. I want to make sure that I'm tracking on time because I have a podcast app to I'm guesting on, and that's today. That is at 10:30. So I have about a good hour. So, we have to make sure that we are staying in alignment with time. Okay. So, first thing is first, like I said, I wanted to address the what is it called? The economists. If you are a paid subscriber in the community, definitely take out time this weekend or this week to read that article. The reason why I put that article out there is to give you everything that I'm doing is trying to keep your nervous system calm, and so you'll know what's coming, because this is the thing. There's a lot of people right now that are avoiding these difficult conversations because they are in a state of avoidance. Okay, they're in a state of avoidance and they don't want to talk about it because the anxiety, the what is it called? The I don't want to, I don't need no bad news right now. You all have to learn how to plan against this stuff, right? And so my aim is to train us to understand that difficult conversations have to be had so that you can learn how to plan and maneuver around. Does that make sense? So, like, for example, a lot of people think that the economist, like the conversation with the cover, the chaos of that cover with all of these things, the whole point is to keep most people nervous, is to keep most people on their toes, to keep most people nervous system dysregulated. That is the aim. But if you have any type of bone in your body that is a strategic thinker, you have to think two steps ahead, right? What they are trying to portray and push is doom and gloom and fear. These people are already in 2050. Okay. They're already there. And this is the gag. The whole world is moving. It's not just the states, but the states is the centralization of what is really going on, right? Because the states, as I've said many times before, the states is the biggest buyer in the world. That a lot of countries, and Singapore said this too. Singapore said that they are they're going to have to figure out what other resources and other things that they need to put in place and structures they need to put in place because they are so used to leaning and depending on the states to pick up a lot of the slack. And that's why I've tried to tell people over the years is that the states, the United States, the states, right? America is comparable to the Amazon workforce of the world. It's an engine. It's an engine. It always has been, right? It's always been the engine of the world. Who's here? Hey, Whitney. Hey, Sean. Who's here in Substack? Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Um, it's sad, but it's the truth. And so now the next distraction that's coming up is, and when I say distraction, I'm not talking about in terms of like not to care, but yes, please care. But the Epstein files and all of these things that's going on is to take you off your rocker because I told people like months ago, I said, do y'all realize that when these things come out, what are you gonna do? What's the plan of action? Everybody wants to like bring out the files. What are you prepared to do? What does that mean? When it comes out, you already know the truth. You already know what's going on. You already know what's happening. You know this place got a lot of skeletons. It's already a lot of dark stuff going on. They're putting a lot of things under labels. What are you prepared to do? Nobody could come up with an answer. You know why? Because nobody has an answer. Nobody is ready to take that radical, massive action that it's going to take to regulate and bring good. And this is why they said kind people think that the way to do this is to think themselves into winning, right? You think you're going to replace people that got to where they are with their ancestors being ruthless? And I'm talking about W men. I'm talking about W men. I'm talking about that they're and the ones in place, the elites that are in place. Are you kidding me? You can't think your way and hope that karma gets them and hope that the mothership gets you and that Jesus comes and saves you and people are gonna be restored. No, 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 no. You're trying to do this thing the easy way, which means that I don't have to do anything. Things are just gonna fall into place. You are going to either have to learn the system or get out of the way. This is how this works. Y'all with me? This is the way this is it. This is it. Are y'all here? YouTube? I know this Wi-Fi is in and out. Substack, y'all still here? I don't know if y'all need to let me know. Am I let me know if I'm here. Um, one of the things I'm gonna say too is in relation to the article, right? So the states will be 250 years old next year. Okay. And the global reset is happening, right? The global reset is happening. A lot of shifts are coming, right? And what do you need to do to prepare? My point the whole time, nothing is going to change in terms of there's still going to be people that's going to buy. There's still going to be people that's going to invest. There's still going to be people that's going to purchase. There's still going to be people that are going to sell their goods and services. There's still going to be people. There's still going to be people. The world is not changing in terms of that. They're still going to be buying and selling and investing. Substack, y'all up? Give me some hearts if you're here. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I asked and nobody said anything. Let me know, because if I have to go out and come back in, let me know. Testing 1, 2, 3. And look, the Wi-Fi is all crazy because the weather is crazy. I'm not gonna say anything else. The Substack and YouTube tell me that they're on, that they can hear me. Are we good? Is there a lag? Okay. Okay, we can hear. Okay, very good. Courtney said we're chatting on Substack. Okay. I don't see any chatting going on. That's weird. Hopefully it'll catch up. Yeah, I don't see anything. But anyway, let's make it happen. Thank you, Courtney, for it's a full chat going. We hear you and we're responding, no lag. Okay. Wow, that is so crazy. I don't see anything. Okay. Okay. I trust that y'all are chatting. Um, so this is another thing too I want to say as well. I want to put this out there. The the move is communities. You have to look at this from an individualistic slash household standpoint. Get out of groupthink. Substack, I'm gonna tell y'all now, I cannot see your comments. I don't know what's up with that. So if y'all are talking to me, I don't see anything. Um, so if you would like to come to YouTube, because I can see all the comments on YouTube, I don't know what that's about. Okay, there we go. Substack is about 30 seconds behind YouTube. That is so interesting. Okay. Thank you, Courtney. I just love y'all. Y'all just so sweet. Y'all are so sweet. Y'all don't know how much y'all bless me. Cause I'm like, what is going on? Tech, right? Tech. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but they trying to make it perfect. Now these are the same bros that are, trying to make people. They're trying to make humanoids. These are the same people with this tech stuff, right? Wi-Fi and all this other stuff. But I want to let me bring this up because I have notes. I have notes. Let me pull this up. Oh man. Okay. So when we're talking about the Great Reset, okay, the Great Reset is a couple of things, right? The reset on the economy, reset on relationships globally, commerce and currency. Relationships are shaking, right? And they're shifting. Um, what we have seen over the past 200 years is now shifting into a new normal where people have to start considering themselves as global citizens, right? We're in the world right now. We're not of it. Now, this is where the issue comes in. When we saw the professional degrees, everybody seen that? Y'all seen that? The professional degrees. When they said that there was going to be limits, student loan limits. Now I'm going to challenge some people because a lot of people didn't pick this up. This is the thing. They didn't say that you couldn't study to be a nurse practitioner. They didn't take it away. They didn't take away MSW. They just said it's now considered a non-professional degree. It doesn't fit into the critical programs of the future. It's not fitting that model anymore. They're not saying that you can't pursue it. They're just putting loan limits on there. And there's a reason for that. Because I told y'all a lot of the white collar mid professional jobs are phasing out, so we won't need as many of them like we have in the past. And so people are saying, well, there's already a nurse shortage. There's always already a such and such shortage. That may be true. This is why they are moving towards more of machine robotic future. Labor costs. Humans costs a lot of money. Did you know that human capital employees are the highest and most expensive line item in a business? Yes. Oh, whose fault is that, Jay, though? It's not our fault. You're right. It's absolutely not. But you're in the system. You're in the system, boo. I never said it was going to be fair. But guess what? Guess what? If you will stop putting yourself in groupthink and putting yourself in, well, what about us? Who is us? You or million of you? Why are you looping yourself in everybody else? Now I know that that kind of thinking is scary because it's like, well, I want everybody to win, or do you want to win? And do you want to help those who are in alignment? Because everybody don't have the same work ethic. Everybody don't have the same work ethic as you do. Everybody don't have the same passions as you do. There's some people that just want to hold on to your coattail and not do any work. Some people just want to listen and just, oh, she's so encouraging, but they're not going to do any work. So we know this to be true. You've got to understand this is about you and your household. And if it doesn't apply, you. Well, I don't want to be selfish. I want you to consider something here. I'm not saying be it selfish, but I am going to tell you that Sam Altman said something very interesting on a panel, and I shared it in my on my TikTok. And I told people, I said, if you look at the facts that Sam Altman said on that stage, he said that I told the investors that I don't know if I can get you an ROI. I made them a soft promise. I don't know if I can get you a return on your investment. What we're trying to do is get AI to a place where it actually creates. We asked it, how do we give these people their money back? How do we give them how do we give them a return on investment? They want AI to come up with the solution. Like we get it to the point of good generative intelligence before it goes into super intelligence, because super intelligence that is coming, but it's coming, just not yet, but it's coming, right? And so they want AI to come up with its own solution to give these people their money back, to come up with the solution. Do you not understand that people just laughed? The audacity, right? This man is also asking for $1 trillion. You're like, what? The bubble, the bubble that we say, yeah, it's going to pop. It's holding up the economy. See, there's two different things to look at right here. Need you to understand everything they tell you. Think about the opposite, right? Think about the opposite. They're telling you the bubble is about to burst. Okay, that may be true, but guess what happened? AI didn't go away. It's not going to go away. Just like when the mortgage industry crashed, real estate crashed back in '08. Banks didn't go anywhere. They just got a bailout. No one raised hell about it. No one took it to the streets. No one boycotted. No one protested. It just, everybody got up and carried on as usual. They were mad about it, but it wasn't to the magnitude of, like, how mad are you? This is why they don't take a lot of people seriously. This is why they don't take, like, I even said, like, why are they building bunkers? Like, a lot of people are not there. We're not, if you're not gonna do anything now, you're not gonna do anything later. So what is it gonna take, right? So you have to take care of yourself. So you have Sam Altman that is asking for $1 trillion, and he even said it. He said, "Well, if we do something crazy or something stupid, the government just comes and saves the day." And he said, "No, I'm not implying that the government bails us out, but in other words, they're there. They're counting on the bailout to be the return on investment. The bailout from the government, right? They're asking the government, but check this out, Christina. They ask the government. See, they're trying to be slick with it to ask for another $1 trillion to build more what quote unquote data centers. Like, how many data centers do you need? Like, what are y'all trying to do? Where were all the data centers 2 years ago? Like, all of a sudden, we need them so bad. Like, we've been running on Wi-Fi all these years. I don't know if that is the truth. Because the return on investment is really not there. They're lending money to each other. See, this is why you had, if you can go back when 47 took office, okay, this is not a red or blue conversation. This is not a Dem or Republican conversation. I really don't care about either one of the sides. I really don't. I promise you I don't. I'm thinking about the human, right? I'm thinking about the person. I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about me. I'm thinking about our children, right? When you go back to 47, and you remember the inaugural dinner and all this kind of stuff, and even the inauguration, and you saw the tech bros behind no, 47, right? You saw that. The intent, in my humble opinion, the intent that I felt they were trying to do was to position America to be the tech hub of the world, right? So you had them going like Saudi Arabia just happened. I think they also went to UAE. I think it was, I don't know, I think it was earlier this year, and Sam Altman was there. Some of the other players were there. The thing is that in my mind, they're trying to build these relationships like they're doing with Saudi Arabia and create these partnerships and alliances to provide AI services and things like that. Because if you understand something else too, Claude, Anthropic, right, has the B2B services on lock. Like their B2B clientele is massive. They got that down to the T. ChatGPT, OpenAI, however, is B2C. So the individual consumer like you and myself, solopreneurs, programmers, developers, they're the ones that are mainly OpenAI's customer base. But however, the $20 plan is struggling. The $200 plan, however, is doing well, right? They got that on lock. Now, let me go to the comment. Christina says the hard truth is that the data centers don't employ a lot of people either and pull local resources. Yes, absolutely. It's not bringing a lot of jobs to the city. Now, what I will say, the only thing in the short term that I see is that trades will go up. Like, for example, your plumbers, your electricians, maybe some engineers, people like that, the talent, right? But also you have ChatGPT, I'm not ChatGPT, OpenAI that is trying to open up for the medical field, which is kind of scary to me considering how Sam thinks. I can't stand Sam. I can't. But I think he has a great product. But I think he needs to focus on making a better product than trying to get business. And I think he is the way that he positions his point of view and his perspective with all he has going on. I'm not gonna say it in public here, but Sam has some stuff going on that is kind of dark to me. And I think he really needs to like think about And I don't think he thinks. I really don't. It's like almost, and I know a lot of people don't like Candace Owens. One thing I'm gonna agree with her on is that when she said, like, "I feel like if I cut you open, are you gonna bleed out blood? Like, you scare me a little bit." Like, I've always said that, like, these guys, let me find out you ain't human. Let me find out you're not human in real life. So the ROI for a community is for, yeah, absolutely. There is no ROI in so many ways. Like, how are these guys trying to making money? Right? They're because guess what? This is a oof, this is a seller's market. When you have more sellers than you have buyers, look at the from the business realm. Like, these guys don't have companies that they really can, like, they can't prove an ROI. They can't. They absolutely cannot. Even companies are losing money with the hope that, okay, so what is the AI going to do for us? And now they're anticipating hiring all these people back because they're losing money. Guess why? Because you got to have buyers. Duh. You got to have buyers. This is why I said, like, just because people got money don't mean they're smart. Some people, it's not really about money. I want to also put that out there. That's another thing I want to say. Yes, it's about money, but it's really not. It's really about the disdain and this disgust of the human being in the way of their utopia. They really just want people to just, like, go away, kind of. Like, let's just have our heaven on earth without all these people around. You're gonna hear, and how many of y'all have been hearing about our UBI, right? So UBI, that conversation is picking up, and you got to be careful of that too, because what's his name? Elon said something too about oh, what did he say? Oh, there won't be any work. There won't be anybody working. Like, I've been telling people this for a while. In about 10, 15, 20 years, no one is going to be working. Like, and let me say this. They're going to be working. They're not going to have any jobs. That's the part. That's why I told y'all, who are you without work? You need to start working on yourself. You're going to be doing meaningful, creative, purposeful stuff. But here is the issue. You think everybody can do that? No. Idle mind is the devil's playground. Ain't that a bold claim that 15, 20 years from now, there won't be any jobs? Now, think about that for a minute. There's a lot of people saying, I'm tired of working. I'm tired of working. I don't care anymore. And I tell people, your time is coming. Like, you're gonna be able to chill. But guess what? 80% of the world is programmed to work. That's why I said, like, you're talking about, oh, I was born for a purpose. You're absolutely correct. You were born to labor. You're a laborer. You were born to labor, right? But then there's gonna come a time where you're gonna have to think of what else are you supposed to do? Because I don't know who I am without it. I don't know, like, what are we gonna do? Do you see how people are spazzing out about working? Well, coach, it's because we have to pay bills. You're absolutely right. So you have universal basic income that's coming. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say something, and I need you to detach from the fear of this and not think about, you know, listen to what I'm saying. The point I'm making is that universal basic income is not going to be for everybody. It's not. There's a reason why that 7.25 an hour has not moved. There's a reason why. There's a lot of people most people are going to be paid an income based on that rate. Okay. I don't know if it's going to be through incarceration or it's just going to be universal basic income where people are going to get a check. It's going to be, United States is going to turn to a welfare state. I mean, our welfare nation. I don't know what that looks like, right? But I do anticipate when they say universal base is high income, everybody's not going to be in it. You got to be out of your mind to think that every single person in America, 350 million Americans, are going to get a check for $10,000 a month. Are you insane? That's not happening. Like that's not happening. So I don't want you to get nervous because you're going to be fine. Because I'm going to tell you a couple of things to do, but the rest of it, you're going to have to go and read that article because I really did a deep dive on what you need to be doing, what you need to be preparing for 2026, because 2026 is the year one. So the biggest thing first is that I'm going to say is that when you think about depopulation, most people think about natural disasters, all of that. The plan is for them to get you and see, this is where I gotta be careful because I could talk like this on Substack. I can't talk like this on YouTube. I can't talk like this on YouTube because and I may have to put this behind a paywall. Um or for the members only. The biggest thing is that you have to be mindful that depopulation agendas are a actual thing. Okay. To lower the amount of people. But see, nobody has ever done that with America because America was the labor force of the world. That's why many wars were not fought here. There was the reason why a lot of like disasters, we've had natural disasters, absolutely, quote unquote, right? And I'm not going through that rabbit hole. But there hasn't been a lot of war on our soil because of our value to the world. Like they don't touch us because they need to keep Americans rolling. They need to keep the engine moving, right? We're the engine. But now we're pricing ourselves out, right? Humans at large are pricing themselves out. So they're saying like, okay, there's probably going to be under the process of elimination. So this is why I say like men, I did a video about that last night. I talked about how men are probably going to have the roughest time with this because AI and automation, this is always like they haven't really had to do that. They've always been in physical labor. So railroads, planes, and spaceships and assembly lines and all this other stuff, right? What I'm trying to tell you is that men are really, really going to have it hard because the identity has always been tied to. If you hear that, that's like I said, they're doing the floor. So if that's annoying to you, I'm sorry, y'all. Um, you have to understand that the way the men are not going to be okay. This is why I said, women, you got to be able to move around and get your household in order. A lot of men are going to be frustrated. They're going to be mad. They're going to be upset. Their egos are on the shelf. They're going to be lashing out. I'm not saying they're going to be lashing out at you, but they're going to be lashing out. And because of the explosion of emotions and them not understanding themselves and understanding what do I do now? Because a lot of people are not smart enough to think on a critical thinking level. They're not critical thinkers. Let me see. Justin said that yes, the men in my life world. I'm sorry, they work hard. 60 plus hours of physical work. Yeah, absolutely. 60 plus hours a week. Like men will work double overtime if you give them the chance. Triple overtime. Let them do it. They are already laying off during the holidays. Yeah. And you know what? And this is coming from somebody who worked in HR for 10 years. Like layoffs always happen around holidays, right? It always happens. Sometimes they hire seasonal workers back if it's in retail, but most of that is because they want their books to look good for the upcoming year. They get people off the books to go back into the positive, right? And this is why some people are like, oh my God, they laid me off right around. Usually layoffs usually happen Q4 and Q1. Q1 and Q4 is usually when you see it. They get people off the books because taxes and they want to show a return. They want to show, and some of them have shareholders and they give bonuses and, at the end of the year. So they have to get people off their payroll to award those bonuses. But let me go back to something I was saying. The depopulation agendas are a thing. So, what does that mean? What are you trying to say, Jay? What I'm saying is what I'm saying. You need to eat light. You need to go walk. You need to practice doing some jogging. You need to get your upper body strength together. If you're going to be here, you're going to have to learn how to be here. Now, I'm also going to say this: 2020 was a rehearsal. You got to think about the whole world went through this together. This was a rehearsal. There are always trial runs. This tech thing, this tech thing is also a rehearsal. This is all to get you nervous, nervous, nervous for the big show. The big show could show up anywhere between 2026 and 2028. You got to think about that year. The milestone year is 2030, the year of five. That the year of five is the year where everything changes. Five is the number of change. Think about that. You got to get over there. So they're trying to give you chaos, prep you for chaos. And I told y'all, I'm determined to see it. I'm determined to see it. That's why I said, do you have to finesse your baby daddy so they can sign your children's passport? Because you know how you not taking my baby. You're not taking my kids. Get everybody a passport. Well, they shutting the airport down. I didn't ask you that. What are you talking about? I'm talking about for the ones who want to get on the plane and go. Ain't nothing stopping you. Stop thinking everything is about you in that regard. Like, oh my gosh, the airports, they're gonna try to shut us out. No, they ain't. If I say that I'm gonna fly with my kids and I'm going to another country with my kids, I'm going to another country with my kids. The plane is not gonna we're gonna be fine. I told my client that the other day, she was like, "Oh, coach, all this stuff." I said, "Da, da, 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 da. Book your flight. Stop that." I said, "They're doing this so the masses won't. Your plane is going to get to its destination." This is why I said, like, where's all this work we supposed to be doing? Y'all did all this spiritual work for 5 years, crystals, tarot cards, oracle, cinnamon, like doing all these, getting readings and astrology chart readings and all this. So what happened to all this work y'all said it was doing? You went to revivals and Bible study. Where's all the work? Where's your faith? Oh, ye of little faith. What happened? What's up? What's the problemo? Feminine, complete being. That's why I say when people tell me, "Oh, I don't think we're gonna," that may be for you. I'm sorry that you feel that way, but that's not for me. Because the more people we can get to feel hopeless, they can just expire themselves and we don't have to do anything. Be careful of the looping. This is why like Generation Z, Gen Z, right? They have a lot of nervous system stuff going on. They're very dramatic, right? And I told my daughter, I said, Y'all gonna have to work on that. Y'all gonna have to work on it. Millennials, you do too, because y'all are depressive." It's really out of person. I think it's switch. I think Gen Z I think Gen Z is more um anxious. And I think millennials are more depressive because millennials are stuck in nostalgia, right? It's stuck in the past. Gen Z is more worried about the future. They're very like their nervous system is really inflamed, right? And so when you have that And Gen Z, yes, it was a very startling time for them to be in school. The whole world, all of the world, all the children around the world was affected by this. But look in peep this is why I study other countries and I look and see what other countries are doing and I look at how they're preparing their children compared to how we're preparing ours, and it's complete difference. Like you have China that has their children in school until like 7:30, 8:30 at night. And then I look in the comments and I see Americans saying things like, "Oh my gosh, do they see their children? Oh my gosh, it's so much work." Our children can't read. Our children don't even know their phone numbers by heart. Our children are not like their behavior is ridiculous in school. A lot of them don't even know what ChatGPT is. You got teachers that's saying right now, "I'm not teaching ChatGPT. I'm not doing AI." What? I said, if I saw, and I told my daughter, if any of your teachers talk like that, you let me know ASAP. I said, if any of your teachers are saying that I'm not teaching no AI, I'm not teaching ChatGPT, let me know ASAP because that's a problem for me. Universities and colleges, but coach, they're finding that AI is detriment to the brain. It makes them dumber. That's a lie. Think about what think about what you're saying. Who did the study? When they bring those studies up, start looking for who conducted the study, who funded the study. As a psychology major, see, I got my master's degree in counseling psychology, and I got my bachelor's degree in psychology. You always ask who funded the study. Always ask that question. You'll be surprised at who funded the study. And it's going to usually be a contradiction to you who that funding body is. And it's going to be somebody that actually wants people to adopt that fact. My best friend, her daughter goes to one of the like best private schools in the city. And they just opened up a school in Singapore. And she already said that, Jay, if it get bad here, we going to Singapore. And then she said, they're learning AI all up and down. They're teaching them business plans. They're teaching them how to do business plans with AI, doing AI tech projects. Like, excuse me? No, the way that they're using AI is making them dumb. Because when you use AI to talk about your problems and all the emotional support that you need, and tell me about the Great Awakening, and tell me about Jupiter, tell me about my astrology chart, my birth chart. Stop. Of course, it's making you dumber because you're asking this silly stuff that you need to be getting ahead. Like this is the same AI that's like helping people create websites, and you're saying it's making your people dumb. My daughter uses AI every day. She uses it to write letters. She uses it to write um reports. She let it critique her college essays and all of that. You got to understand we are in a different time. So you need to be using it as an advantage as opposed to, oh, I don't want my kids to get caught up in what? The whole world is in this. Are your children going to even be able to compete? Just listen to how people talk. I'm not doing that. I'm against that. But but yeah, they're putting data centers in neighborhoods that they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Let me see what Christina said. She says, I'm teaching my kiddo Canva and talking AI, and they repeat that AI is making them dumb. And I explain how innovation is being driven by AI, and they're starting to see the cop out. Absolutely. Absolutely. Canva has AI all up and through it. You can code all these different things to create things. That's why I said, like, why aren't you using it for analytical things? Why aren't you using it to measure an ROI and get an analysis and looking at research and having it to write for you and having it to create your funnels and email sequences and all this other stuff? Why are you not doing that? Anika said, my daughter hates it because of the environmental impact, so she won't use it, but she wants us to invest in it for our family. So that's, I mean, y'all got to think about you got to think about the opposite. Because I don't think, I think, anyway, but I get it, Anika. Sean said, my daughter sketched her fashion show outfit. AI created an image. She's been enjoying it. That's amazing. You have to use the tool. But these kids, the ones that are in environments and or has parents that are promoting this so that they can stay ahead and use these things for what this is about living. This is about eating later. The jobs, the work is going to be different. It's going to be different. It's going to be different. They need to at least have the basics down and learn how to you got to look at the different use cases so that you can leverage it. But stop listening to people to tell you that. It's making you dumb. No, it's not. It's the way you're using it that's doing that. Because a lot of people, you got to remember that they don't have a problem solving bone in their body. They don't have critical thinking skills. They don't have a mindset to ask it analytical questions. It's a tool. I I I want to challenge everybody on here. If you're using an LLM like Chat or Gemini, Claude, etc., Grok, ask it as of today, as of now, rate on a scale of 1 to 10 my level of competency using you to help me with my work, my business, etc. Ask it to rate your competency level in using it and ask it, what can I do to improve or optimize um, the partnership that I should be having. See, AI has to be your partner. It's not the driver of your business. It's a tool and it's a partner. Even when it comes down to your emotions, ask it before you make a decision, an important decision about something. Ask it to weigh the pros and cons for you. Y'all, I cannot tell you how many times it has helped me with different cases, with different client issues. Even times where y'all getting y'all blue to your face as women, if this applies, and you getting your hormonal state, and somebody sends you an email or you get some type of something from a client and it's not like you're like, what? Put that bad boy through AI and say, okay, I don't want to trip. I don't want to get emotional. I need you to kind of help me with the decision making process on this. Like, how should I respond? I don't want to put emotion in this. AI is going to do that for you. It's going to give you some responses. It's going to give you some insight to what this person could be saying. Give it the whole scenario, give it the whole situation. Even if you have to screenshot some of the exchanges so AI can get a full scope to help you analyze this stuff and give you appropriate responses so that you can respond accordingly. Anika says, as a Gen X who grew up using card catalog and program basic inference and being able to properly use Boolean logic in multiple contexts is the foundation skill beneath AI and internet research. Hmm. Definitely, definitely use the tool. Use the tool. A lot of changes. A lot of changes. You can either do this with groupthink. You can do this with groupthink. You can do this with people if looping yourself into what people are saying fear. I'm scared and this is not right for us. Who is us? Because you're not. It's not stopping me. This stuff is not stopping me from having the best life. You gotta lock in. Courtney said it rated her a 9 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Use that tool. When it gives you strategies, report back and tell it like I use the strategies and this is what happened. Give it feedback. Even when ChatGPT gives you a response, tell it to go deeper. Tell it like I want you to get more specific. I want you to really, really lean in. Give me deeper than this. And it will. Like you're challenging it to think, and give you more and more depth. This works. It works. So not only will it give you help on analysis work, but it'll give you links. It'll give you research. Like some of y'all are trying to do big things next year. Like have it to do research for you. Send you articles, send you information and corporate information on different people so that you can make calls or send emails. Have it to audit all of your social profiles. Perplexity did that for my LinkedIn. Did a whole overview. Took over the screen. It turned like this pretty indigo color. And she just scanned my entire LinkedIn profile. It was fantastic. And she was like, you need to change to this, you need to change to this, and change this part. Here's about me. This is what I suggest. She gonna tell you. She gonna give you the whole audit. Have it to audit your Instagram. Have it to refresh your messaging for 2026. All of these things, like you need to prepare for the new year so that we can just go. We just need to go. Period. I'm inserting this here. Soul Stacker Writing Intensive is coming up on the 2nd of December. If you have not signed up, you need to come on in. I will send you the information for you to grow and monetize your community. I've told y'all 1,000 times. The community based business models are going to be big. Community based business models. You need digital products, you need offers. Like some people are getting upset about, oh, low ticket. I don't want to do low ticket anymore. Do you have other offers to upsell people? No, you don't have a ladder. You don't have a product suite. You're supposed to have a product suite. You're supposed to guide people. So I'm getting frustrated with low ticket when you don't have a path, you don't have a product ladder, you don't have an ascension ladder, you don't have an ecosystem. Duh, 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 duh. It's not about I only want high ticket. No, it's you can do high ticket if you want to, but also if you're gonna do low ticket, you got to do it right. You got to do it right, and that's the part y'all not understanding that there is a way. There's strategies behind. Like you should be getting paid every day. Your product leads to something else, to something else, to something else. And a lot of y'all are not like catching on to that. That's what I'm trying to tell you is that a lot of you are like, I don't know what to offer. Or I have this thing. Do you have something after that? So after they buy your ebook, then what? That's it. After they buy your digital course, is that it? What do you have after that? I don't know. I don't have anything. Okay, so that's why you're frustrated. You don't have anything. You don't have a strategy. I don't know how many times I can tell you that. I don't know how many times. Like it's just it. That's frustrating. It's so frustrating when like y'all got all these digital assets and you just let them sit there. I don't know. You gotta want to make. You gotta want to do the work. So how am I gonna market? What do you think I'm doing? My links are down in the description. My sand store is in my Substack. People go to that. I don't even have to. People gonna lead themselves. I make offers on these things every single day. Every day. Soul Stacker. I've been talking about that. I talk about it every day. Soul Stacker writing intensive. This is about writing. This is about content writing. This is about monetization of your community. This is about having a community based business model, a content led business model where you are generating and creating an ecosystem for your business. So you're not tied on sales calls and discovery calls and all this other jive. I've been doing this since 2022. A lot of y'all don't have patience. And this is why it works for so many people. But anyway, and it requires proactivity. You have to be proactive. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta be on a podcast, on another podcast. So I have to go. YouTube has been real. Substack has been realer. Y'all have a good day. I will be back tomorrow. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. There will not be a morning show. So we're going on. All right. Love y'all. Have a great day.